Welcome back to Papa Z's Bees. Last week we had a kind of a misfire with a swarm. I'm afraid it was one of our hives that swarmed, but nonetheless we missed the swarm because it had such a small area to work in. So today, this Sunday, April the 24th, March the 24th, sorry, and got home from church, sat down for dinner, and guess what? We had bees. So my wife says, oh my gosh, there's a swarm of bees out there. Sure enough, there is. So today we're going to try a couple of things to capture these. I think we'll probably get them okay, but you never know. We'll try. Here we go. What we're going to do, we're going to try something that I've heard works, but I'm not sure if it does or not. So they say if you take a frame and put them up under the bees, that they'll walk down on it and load it. But there's a few coming down here on it, but for the most part, they're not. Well, let them do this for a second and see. And there are quite a few coming. I don't know if you can see them. They're not real happy with me for, yeah, they're starting to. So you can see this is a wide swarm, which is kind of unusual. So, okay, so I've got a little, I don't have a regular bee brush, so I'm gonna have to get one. You know, this is the time of year when you think, well, I wish I had gotten a lot of stuff. I'd like to have a big net like Fred has, but I don't. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this as a kind of a bee brush. And I'm going to try to get as many of the bees in here as I can. Well, and hopefully they'll come up on these frames. But we'll just come up under here and hopefully we'll get the queen. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here. And I'm going to see if I can see the queen. There's a lot of bees. See if I can see the queen, but it's probably not going to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get all these bees inside here and put the lid on it. This is a cover with breathing from the Hive Butler group. So we'll set these here this way. And also one of the things that Fred had mentioned, or no, I guess I read it in one of the in Bee Journal this week, that if you smoke them where they were, they probably won't come back. So I'm going to smoke them a little bit. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to look for the queen, because if I could find the queen, that would ensure that I would get the hive. But I have a feeling, I'm pretty sure we got her, because we got so many of them. Such a bulk. Kind of have to go through these handfuls of bees and kind of see if there's a queen in there, and there's not. No, there's not. So these bees will kind of sit and probably come back here, and when they won't find their queen, they'll either come over and land on top of this, which I assume they'll do, or they'll go back to wherever they came from. Now, because these are a little feistier, normally bees in a swarm aren't real feisty. They'll kind of leave you alone. So what I'm suspicioning is happening, if I guess at which of my hives it is, it's probably the horizontal hive, because they're the feistiest bees I've got. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this set for a while, let the bees calm back down, and then we'll take them over and put them in the nuke that these frames came from. This will give them an opportunity to kind of, in fact, when I open it up, I'll look back and see if I can find the queen, but we're going to move it over there close so we can dump them pretty easy. So we'll give them probably 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes to kind of calm down, and I'll come watching them, and we'll see from what happens from there. So hang on, we'll be back. As you can see, we have a few bees that are kind of hanging around on top here because, again, this is got holes in it, so they can smell. They're, again, they should be pretty docile. That's a kind of a light color in there. So anyway, we'll walk this over to where their nuke is set up. And I think I mentioned about this hive butler in the past, but what's great about this hive butler is that it's not just a expensive plastic box. It's got hanging ledges on it. It's got you can see it's got it's got two different lids you can get, one with the perforated stuff and one with solid. So anyway, here we go. Okay, come on over. Okay, so I'm gonna take these top frames out. You can see we talked about this before. We tried to house the one last weekend. I think I'm gonna try to take a couple of frames out of here if I can, which I can't really do without taking the box off, which I'll do. So we'll take a couple of frames off, and hopefully they've gotten on those frames that we put in there earlier. If not, we'll have to make adjustments. That's kind of the thing here. You just kind of have to learn and adjust. So here we go. They were up on the lid pretty heavy. Okay, now, so you can see the bees inside the box here. Probably come over here and look. You can see them inside the box. They're crawling over, like maybe we've got lucky and the queen is on this frame. I don't see it, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this frame in there. Got one stung me right there. And another frame. That's good. That's good view there. Good sign there that we have the bees inside the box there. So what we'll do again, we'll take this other frame, put it in the top. Then I'm going to just take a little makeshift brush. I'm hoping the queen's down on the bottom already. So we've got the box here this way, and so what we'll do is we'll kind of sweep these bees back in here, and I add these frames back in. Some of it has some comb on it, which will help them attach to it. Most of them don't. I just don't have a lot of frames with comb on it, so. Now we don't know if they're going to stay. That's the problem with the swarm. You just don't know. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to put this cover back on, and then we'll just see what happens. Let's look around the front and see what's happening down here. They're kind of they're staying up here on the front of the box. Come on over, they won't get you. Huh? So what we want to see is bees with, there we go, there's one with Nazanov. See her butt raised in the air? She's saying, come on in here guys, I've got the queen inside here. So that's a really good, and they're starting to go in. So what we hope will happen, we'll have more bees come back out with their rear ends high in the air with the Nazanov. And the Nazanov is just a gland that helps reproduce the queen scent. so they can say, hey, you know, smell this. This is what you're wanting to smell, and come on down in here. You can watch these. Hopefully we'll stay down here a little bit. And these will go in, and then you'll have more come back out and raise their Nasonov up. Now, the Nasonov gland is this little white gland. You can see right at the very, almost at the tip, the next to the last ring on the bee. That's what Nasonov gland is. So now there's 2 or 3 out there fanning. And again, they fan that to get the noise, get the bees out. They're flying around and saying, hey, come in here, come in here. And you can see more and more of them are starting to go down and down and going to go down and go down inside. So that makes me feel pretty good that we do have the queen inside. Now, one of the reasons why we had to make such a hasty process with this is we're supposed to have some severe thunderstorms today. So there'll be a lot of rain and stuff, and they wouldn't make it out there on the fence. Well, you can see several more. I don't know if you can see, get real close and see that Nasonov gland on the ones in the air. That's pretty cool. That's how the bees work. So I'm going to tip this box back up over. And the reason I'm going to do that, if it rains, I don't want them to get puddled in the rain. I want them to have the ability to get out of there and hopefully get up in here. So again, we can even move it closer to the box. I'll give them a path to crawl up there rather than having to fly. It's looking pretty good now. There's more and more. There's probably a dozen or so fanning. Again, the more you get in there, the more they're gonna bring them in. And again, that's what you want with the Nasonov is to help bring that queen's pheromone, which again is what they're spreading. Well, there's a really good look at a Nasonov right there on that bee. Oh my goodness, that white tip right there, about two from the top. That's really good. That's a good shot. If we can get, there's 2 of them right there in a row. You can see the good Nasonov. So I feel pretty good about the fact that we got this swarm. Again, not really sure where it came from. We're going to try to get out in the apiary this week if we can. Again, with my knee the way it's been after the knee replacement, it's been hard for me to do a whole lot. So we're going to hopefully, well, look at them crawling up. This is good. They're crawling up here on the inside and crawling up over and getting over there and crawling inside. We could stand here and watch this thing for a long time, but I don't want to bore you. We may go ahead and take some little more lengthier shots. You see, there's a bunch of them Nasonov now, so we've got the queen in there. Again, they're crawling up inside this box. That's another great thing about the hive butler. Not only does it have spaces where you can hang frames in there, but it's a rough interior where the bees can crawl, which is helpful to them as you try to get them to come out. I promise I'm going to try to get better prepared for a swarm next time. It's just, again, I've just been without able to do a whole lot lately, so I'm not as prepared as I want to be, but I'm really trying to. Now again, watch them, look at them come down. They're coming down and going down, right down and going down inside. That's great. That's awesome. Okay, well, we're going to sign off here, but I'm going to take the camera and just watch this for a little bit. And you can go on in if you want, or you can stay out, whichever you want to do, babe. You can see trying to find the zoom. I don't use this enough. And you can see the number of the bees there that are fanning, trying to bring the rest of them in. And you can see them crawling out of the top of the box there. You can see them up here on the top of the box. So looks like we got all bases covered on this. There's some more. There's a Nasonov right on the edge of the box there. You can see her. See them crawling up out of the inside of the box up in there. I would love to have been able to put the queen in a cage. I had a cage in my pocket to be able to capture her, because that's the best way to get all the bees in, is you know you've got the queen and you take her inside. So all right, well, this could go on. I could sit and watch this all day. We'll come back in a few days after the storm settles and the temperature rises up a little bit, 'cause it's supposed to get cool tonight. And then we'll come back and kind of give them a little look and see. We won't go inside the hive, because that's not what you want to do. You want to allow them to build. Now, what I may do is I may come out here and put some sugar water on, because you want to give them as much as you can so they can start building comb, and they need that because there's just nothing but foundations inside there. Take one more quick look at the landing board, and we've had good luck, so we'll take it from there. And again, we'll be back in a few days.
Well, as you can see, sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be prepared, and we certainly were with this swarm. As you can see, the last little clip there are two little clips. One of them was bees coming in and out of the hive, so after a couple of days they're still there. And the last little clip was of a rapid round feeder that we applied, and we used sugar water that was a little bit less than 1-to-1. In other words, so more water than sugar. And typically, this is, at least from everything I have read, what you want when you go to feed bees, especially swarms, because a swarm is basically a comb-making machine, and that's what you want. You want to give them the resources they need to build a lot of comb quick, because in that box they're in, there's actually 10 frames, 5 below and 5 up on top. So we want them to build that comb out as quickly as they can. And they're taking, at this point, this is about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, they're taking about a full feeder, which is a little bit over a quart, about every other day. So they're really taking that. And of course, I haven't been inside yet, because like I said, we don't want to go inside of it until they've had a chance to kind of settle in and start laying brood. That's once they start laying brood, that's when you have them, and they're not, more than likely not going to leave. So anyway, we'll revisit this hive later as they've gone back in. We'll do an inspection on it, and we'll show you that to see how they've come. So again, as always, we really appreciate you. If you would, please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Also hit the like button and a little bell. That will also tell you that that we've got, when we have a new video out, you'll get a notification through YouTube that we have a new video out there. So, well, thanks for watching. We really appreciate you. Come on back next time, and we'll have some more videos. Thanks.